Hey you guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this salsa. It is called Salsa Matcha. It's also called Salsa de Aceite, or I think there's another name for it. I'm not sure. Either way, it tastes really good, and one of the best things about it is that you can make it with things that you usually have on hand, and it lasts a long time in your cupboard if you don't eat it all the time like I do. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this really easy 3-ingredient salsa.
I needed some non-copyrighted music, but I couldn't find any, so I had to make my own, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
What we're going to need is 1 tortilla. This is a corn tortilla. We're going to need about 10 garlics. These are pretty big. This one looks like I'm going to get rid of it and change that out. And we're also going to need a pack of Chile de Arbol. This is spicy. This is 2 ounces, about 50 Chile de Arbol. We're going to also need some olive oil. I usually use the Kirkland kind, but right now this is what I have. I think I got this actually for making soap. I've never really... I know I like the Kirkland one, but this is what I have for right now. You can use any other kind of oil as well, but I really love olive oil flavor. And we're going to need salt. And of course you're going to want a good quality salt. So for this recipe, I mean your brother. So for this recipe we are going to want to take all of the skins off of the garlic. So I'll go ahead and fast forward this part so you guys don't have to watch.
To pause it?
Yeah, just pause it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so now that these are all peeled, we're gonna cut them up like slices. Okay, Isela, you can, yeah, just push stop and then hit time lapse again.
Push. Hey, stop.
The next thing, we're gonna open our packet, and the only thing that we're gonna do is take off the little stems to all of these. You don't have to worry about taking out the seed. We're just taking off the stems. Okay, so now we have this ready. Here is about 50 chile de arbol. We have our tortilla. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quarter this because the pot that I'm going to use...
I'm going to spell something.
Because the pot that I'm going to use is smaller. So I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces. And this, you're going to need a jar to put the salsa in after, and some salt. So what I'm going to do... I'm going to add... I'm going to be adding about 2 cups of oil, and this is what I'm going to be frying in. This is going to put all of the flavor of the chilies and the garlic into the oil, and this will be reserved going into our finished product. So that's about 2 cups of oil in there. Okay, so my stove is 1 to 7 on gas, and I'm at a 3. The important thing about heating olive oil, you might hear a lot of times that it's not good to fry in olive oil, which is true. However, that is true of all oils. So if you're using canola oil or corn oil, all of those oils can be heated to a point where it will start making the smell of the oil change, as well as the taste of the oil, and the healthy polyphenols and things like that can start breaking down and creating free radicals. So first thing I'm going to add is my tortilla, and we'll just let that get crispy. we want this to get toasted. The toast of this is gonna give it a really, well, toasted flavor. And you can use sesame seeds, you can use pumpkin seeds in lieu of the tortilla, but I don't have all of that right now, so I am just using the tortilla. Okay, so we're still frying. It's taking a little while because we want to be very gentle with the oil. So these are a little bit harder now, but they're still not very toasted, and I would like it to be toasted. So I'll bring you back when we get to that point. Okay, so now you can see the color change that these had. I'm gonna pull these out and I'm gonna add them straight to my blender. Right here. That. And then I'm gonna add the garlic into the oil. And what I'm waiting for here is also a color change. So as soon as it starts looking toasted, a toasted color, to the toasted color that you like, then I'm gonna start pulling it out. And you could do this with whole garlic as well. You don't have to cut it like this, but when you cut it like this, it gives it more surface area, which will give you more toasted flavor on more surfaces, so that the flavor will be more intense if you cut it like this before you fry it. I'm going to start trying to get the little pieces that are getting color already. See those golden pieces? And again, that goes straight to the blender. I'm just wanting to be sure to get all these little pieces because I don't want them to burn and make the salsa taste bitter. Next we're going to start with our next we're going to do our chilies. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. That way they don't burn too fast. It's easier to control the heat if you see some darkening, and you can pull them out quicker than if you have the whole pot full and there's some on top that aren't getting cooked, but you can't really see the bottom ones getting burnt. So that's how come I like to do it just a little bit at a time. You have more control. Okay, so the chilies are just about there. I'm going to show you the difference in color. So here's the non ones and here's the ones that are toasted. And you don't want to pass too much because they'll start tasting bitter. So again, I'm just going to put this straight to the blender. And we'll add a little bit more. It's smelling really, really good in here. I caught these just in time. So this is what happens when you walk away from the stove and think that you can multitask. Well, I always think I can multitask, and this is what happens. So Caught these just in time. If you see any dark ones, you can just pull them out and not put them into the salsa. And add the rest. Those got a little bit dark. I'll probably pull some of the dark ones out of here, so that way the whole salsa doesn't taste bitter. These ones got done pretty fast, so I'm pulling them out and adding these to the blender as well. Okay, so this sauce is just about done. The last thing that we need to add is a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add about 1 teaspoon. And we're gonna add the rest of the oil. The same oil that we fried in, because that's where all of the flavor is. So we don't want to waste that. And we're gonna lock the lid. This one has a good locking lid. If yours doesn't have a locking lid, wait until your oil cools down a little bit. And then we're gonna blend this. Hehe. Okay, I got carried away with recording, but I accidentally passed the point of blendedness that I like. What happens if you blend it too much like this, like I just did, everything kind of sinks down to the bottom. So I usually like to have it a little bit more chunky than this, but it's still gonna taste good. Okay, the next thing, the last thing to do is add this to our jar. Oh, it's spicy. So yeah, that's a little bit more blended than I like it, but it's still gonna taste good. Some chunks down there. Okay, so that is that. How can I make this look better? I know. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on a fried egg. This is one of my favorite snacks, breakfast, snack, lunch, and dinner. Here's a tortilla that I lightly fried, and a fried egg that I accidentally over-fried. And now the salsa. They love making those sounds when I'm recording. I'm sorry guys. It's part of the video. There's no getting around it. All right, I'm gonna pull a spoon out and use that for the salsa because I ruined it. For this eggs, I actually didn't add any salt because I put a lot of salt in the salsa, and you don't really have to worry about the saltiness of the salsa because it's a condiment, and you have to worry more about the spiciness. So I didn't salt my eggs, to make the long story short. This salsa will last you in your cupboard. You don't have to refrigerate it. It will last in the cupboard for up to a year if you even keep it around that long, because in my house it disappears. I make this jar and it lasts maybe 2 months, not even, because when I have this I'm always eating fried eggs. So that's my story. Anyways, you guys, that's the recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you give this recipe a try. Don't forget to Put the thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave your comments down below. And if you're still here at the end of the video watching, you're the ones that I love. Lisa Marie, I know that's you. Thank you so much for all your support.
I needed some non-copyrighted music, but I couldn't find any, so I had to make my own, and I have no idea what I'm doing.